All right, guys, I'm back at it again with another interview for the Disarming Anti-Gun Arguments. I got a man here who needs no introduction, Tex Grebner. Tex Grebner, thanks for coming on. We really appreciate it. And I'm going to jump right in, ask you the question. What do you think is the greatest threat to gun rights in this country today?
Right now, I think the greatest threat to gun rights in this country is people being reactionary. Hopefully, I'm using that word correctly, but nobody has the right to tell you who you can love, if you should, or how you should worship, and what you can and cannot own. Okay? And so, we are free men and women. Nobody can tell us how to live as long as we're obeying the law of the land, which should be written according to our own conscience, our own moral compass.
Okay.
We don't have anything to fucking worry about. But what we have to worry about is how, oh my God, somebody's going to do something that's going to piss somebody else off. And then everybody dogpiles on this one particular person. And in the past, it has been me. What I mean by that is this poor fucker that took a lawnmower to the leg, okay? Everybody's dogpiling on his ass right
Right.
I've been in that fucking position, okay? I've been there, I've lived it, and I haven't said two words about that subject when I've been asked because I'm lucky that I didn't die.
Sure,
But
of course.
people get too whipped out of control worrying about what the other side is going to say.
Well, here, let me ask you a clarification point. You use the word reactionary. It sounds like you're kind of saying everybody acts to prevent something, or they're all worried about the what if, could this happen, how do we stop this, how do we stop that? Is that kind of where you're going?
Yeah, I mean, nothing will happen if you don't fuck it up. And
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
And every time something happens, some minor, tiny little thing.
Right.
For instance, from a outdoorsy standpoint, years ago, Jim Zumbo made a post online, and he was coined as the FUD of guns.
Right.
Okay? So, every time something happens, the gun culture is its own worst enemy because everybody says, "Oh, what will they do with this? What will they do with that? You're making us look bad." Well, guess what, motherfuckers? I've been to Hollywood. I lived it. I made my own mistakes.
Right.
And I owned it. What are you doing by pointing out how terrible I am for having been to Hollywood?
Oh, I get it. So everybody's capable of throwing rocks at somebody else, but nobody's capable of using those rocks to actually build something.
Yeah, right? Absolutely.
Yeah. Instead of using your pile of rocks to snap somebody's window or crack somebody in the head, build up your own building and make something, right? That's what you're saying?
Yeah, absolutely. And while I'm ranting here about being reactionary, I'm going to steal a quote from Jay Gibson from Tactical Response, and that is, if fear, doubt, and civil obedience are bred into you genetically, they have already won. We live in a free society. We do not need to fear what they do, because if we toe our own line and build our own house, we're fine. It isn't going to go anywhere.
Right.
People just don't understand how much damage they do by backbiting. They don't have to do anything. All they have to do is let us fucking eat each other.
That's a really good point. No, yeah, you're totally right. That makes okay. With that said, okay, now here's the big thing, because I understand completely where you're coming from. How do you fix it? How do you solve it? Is there a solution, or is this just human nature that we'll eat each other alive?
I don't really have a solution to it other than people need to, I don't want to say mind their own business,
But that's what it comes down to, really. If you're not breaking anybody's rights, you're not hurting anybody, right? Why do you have to get involved?
Yeah, I mean, the internet, the social network warriors is what we deal with. My rifle is not for nailing a fucking picket sign to. I don't go to protests, okay? You know why I don't go to protests? Because I guarantee you I'm already on a fucking list. And I'm not going to go to a peaceful protest with an unloaded rifle with a fucking picket sign nailed to it to make a fucking statement.
Right.
And so, as far as, like, how would I fix it? 1, mind your own fucking business. And 2, grow the fuck up. And 3, have thicker skin. We are supposed to be this culture of warriors, okay? Now, I've been dragged through the mud behind horses on the internet enough. I get it, I understand it, and I fucking lived it. Anybody can throw a fucking rock at anybody else. Why not throw rocks at a common enemy? Okay?
Sure.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Okay?
Right.
And so, I guess what I'm getting at is, it just makes me irate when people on the internet, which, let's be real, is the fourth dimension.
Right.
Okay, when people on the internet, within our own self-defense oriented, tacticular-fied culture, they got balls on the internet, but when it comes to actually doing something, people, no, I'm not there. I'm not going.
Right, because, I mean, it's so easy for somebody to post a comment and tear somebody down than it actually is to go and actually, write an email, make a phone call directed at local officials, politicians, whatever. I'm not saying you're necessarily going down that path with your point, but you know what I'm saying, right? It's so easy to comment. It's so easy to spend your whole life just tearing people down than actually trying to make something positive happen.
Oh, absolutely. And, like, really, truly, my solutions to the problems is care about you, care about your family, and what you can actually do to change things rather than caring about what everybody else is doing. You can't win any type of race by looking to side, or looking behind you. You got to run forward.
Right.
Or you're going to trip over the fucking hurdle.
Right. That's a good point too, because everybody's constantly looking at who's next to them and who's behind them, and they're just trying to be one car length ahead of the guy behind them and everyone else. They're not actually looking to win the race. They're just looking at keeping up with the Joneses or being one car ahead, right, basically?
Yeah, who's fucking up, and how can I look better by pointing it out?
And just a bit better. They don't want to be just amazing. Yeah, they just want to be. They want to be below the fan, but they want to be above the shit, right?
Yeah, exactly. And, like, what's really going on is it's all a fucking smokescreen. Okay? Right. They will throw out something. The media will throw out something. And we'll just fight over it like fucking dogs over scraps.
Right.
And we don't even know what we're fighting over.
Right.
They're just watching us fight each other so that we're focused on something else. There is no such thing as magic, okay? The difference between a magician and an escapologist is the escapologist's life is actually in danger when he's doing an escape. A magician is doing a trick.
Right.
And misdirection is a huge thing.
Right, and then the media is largely pushing out the droll that the masses want to see. Nobody wants to know what Governor so-and-so's law he's trying to push through that's going to come up in the next 6 months. People just don't give a damn. They want to know what the Kardashians are up to or who did what and where and something.
Let me give you an example in my world. Let me give you an example in my world, okay? Cecil the fucking Lion.
Right.
You know why we heard about Cecil the Lion? Because there was no big tragic school shooting to put in the news that day.
Right. Well, he was also a famous lion, right? He was in some documentaries and other crap like that.
Documentaries.
Right, whatever you want to call him. Yeah, whatever you want to call him. But he was in something, and people fell in love with him because of all that crap. I hear where you're coming from, though.
Nature red in tooth and claw. Yeah. Yes, nature is a beautiful, violent, visceral experience that I technically choose to take part in.
Rather than look at a magazine or some pictures that they see online, right?
You ever seen actual footage of wolves eating an animal alive?
I haven't. No, wolves, yeah. I've seen them rip apart a rabbit and ripped apart some other things. But
life is fucking violent.
Yeah. Or the wildebeest jumping out of the water and the gator gets him in the stomach and just rips him open from underneath.
Yeah,
life is gnarly. Yeah.
And I'm not gonna pretend to you like I don't get afraid. Like I'm not gonna pretend to you like I don't get afraid.
Right.
But I tell you one thing, I choose to live my life without fear, and I choose to live my life without shame. And I will not be shamed, and I will not be made to be afraid. Tell Ben hi from Uncle Tex, by the way.
Ben just came in. Say hi to Uncle Tex.
Hi.
Well, I got to go take care of this little guy. Tex, really appreciate you coming on. I think you bring a passion that we need when we have these discussions. And I think we don't do enough of these actual dialogues here on YouTube, the YouTube community. We spend a lot of time commenting on each other's videos, which is great, but I think we need to do more of this back and forth. So,
yeah, I mean, if you want my closing thought,
yeah, go for it.
My solution to the problem is stop fighting each other and focus on a common goal. Mm-hmm. Because if fear, doubt, and civil obedience is bred into your DNA, they've already won.
Right.
They don't have to do anything other than let us tear each other apart. You know, let's put it this way. When too many people are trying to get out the door of the theater,
oh right,
somebody yells fire, and it is a pull open door. People will die because nobody thinks to actually
stop pushing,
pull open the door
right,
rather than push open the door.
Right.
When I see panic buying, that's what I think of.
Yep.
Buy the shit now.
Right.
Buy it back in 2008. I'm sorry.
Right. And that's why we can make so much money when that happens, because people are willing to pay like $400 markup, right?
Oh, absolutely. But my final closing thought.
Go for it.
We need to stick together, and rather than throwing our rocks at everybody else, we need to build one big wall. Now, that's not a statement on immigration, by the way.
That's not your Trump support right there. I hear you. No, I hear you. And I think that should be the general takeaway is stop the backbiting and tearing us individually that are a part of the community down. You don't necessarily have to come together, but let's not be dicks to each other, and let's all have the common goal, right? The common goal is to get our rights back that we've lost.
Or at least, let's say common goal, don't give any more ground.
Right.
And once you get your feet under you, move forward.
Sure. That's a good point. I think that's a good point.
Because you've got to stop the line before you've got to stop falling before you can climb back up the rope.
Yeah. Those are words of wisdom right there, Tex. All right, with that, everybody, like I said, Tex Grebner, everybody knows him, but check out his channel anyway. This link will be in the description. Tex, thanks so much for coming on. I think this is really powerful, and it's going to be useful to people going forward.
Oh, while we're at it, I got 2 guns, a thing, and a takeaway. That one and that one.
Yeah, Tex, you are looking shredded these days.
You know, the only reason that I'm looking shredded, and this is not fat shaming, but there is a shrinking middle ground. I am not shredded. All I've managed to do is claw my fat ass back to average. We're going to get this show an X rating before I go. If you don't know who I am, I'm Tex fucking Grebner.
All right.
My cop walks away.
All right. Thank you, Tex. That was Tex Grebner, by the way. So thanks a lot, guys. If you're interested in being involved in any of these interviews, send me a message at hosnasi@gmail.com.